Joining us now is Doug Flutie's employer, the man who made Flutie $1 million a year player, the owner of the Calgary Stampeders, Larry Ryckman. Larry, what were your expectations when you signed Doug Flutie, and has he met all of them?
I think Doug's met them all and more. The expectations ranged everywhere from being the added ingredient that we needed to be the best team in the league, to bring in extra fans, to bringing the profile of Calgary up. I mean, Calgary's goal is to be the best team in the league and to be the class act of the league.
Now, your attendance did come up, but not by all that much. Were you disappointed that you couldn't sell more tickets with him?
Not really, because it was a bit misleading. Last year's ticket figures included so many comps in them, and we also raised ticket prices about 15 to 20%. So overall revenue was up significantly, although overall attendance was up, I think, reported 5%, but in reality it was more like 15%.
Now, when you say the aim was to have him help you become the best team in the league and not the second best, which you were last year, does that mean that to really put you over the top and for him to do all that you wanted him to do, that he has to win Sunday?
Yeah, well, you know, I think Doug is special, and I've always said this. I think he's the Gretzky of football, and you know, he's got those special abilities and special talents. It's a combination of on-field and off-field personality, and candidly, I think if there's anybody that can take us over, it's Doug.
Now, you've dealt with this long before, but the idea that Flutie's move to Calgary killed the BC Lions is something that is still around, obviously, with the Lions way out of the playoffs and trying to restructure themselves for next season. Do you take any blame at all for what happened to the Lions?
I take none. What's frustrating about that was the BC Lions have been in serious financial trouble for a long time, and in fact, the three gates that they had without Doug this year were actually higher financially than the gates last season, because although they had lower attendances, they were getting full ticket prices. Anyone in the know in the league will tell you that the BC Lions were headed for a collision course, and candidly, I'm just glad that Doug got out of there when he did.
Well, I guess the other way to look at it is if free agency does exist in the league and he is free and he is the best quarterback, why wouldn't everybody be bidding for him, right? If his contract expires with you and somebody offers more money, you prepared to lose him to somebody else?
Well, I think that that's always possible. You know, with someone like Doug. Doug is a professional, loves it in Calgary, but in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, if Doug chooses to go someplace else, because I haven't managed Calgary well enough that I would be able to afford him, then I think it's time for him to be moving on. But at this point in time, the way that we signed Doug was what I would call a creative deal, and we called it that from the start. Really, no CFL team can afford out of their own pocket to be spending $1 million signing players. What they have to do is they have to have sponsors.
Now, what is winning the Grey Cup? What could winning the Grey Cup mean for your team?
What it does is it really speeds up our whole marketing plan. When I took over Calgary, it was bankrupt, and it had a sliding attendance over the last decade. And the big plan was to go out and bring fans back in the stands, turn Calgary back into a football city. What the winning the Grey Cup will do is simply speed that process up over a 2 to 3 year period.
And if you don't win it, do you take a step back?
Probably. I'm sure there's some step back that'll go, but it wouldn't be a big enough step that it would affect the franchise other than psychologically. I mean, we are here to win. It's so much different. Coming here last year, we were giddy. We were just thrilled to be here. This year, everyone's serious. Everyone's focused, and we're here for one thing. We're here to win and to make Calgary proud.
Larry, good luck. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.